This is Tom, your host for the Hidden Truths channel. How's everybody doing this evening? Tonight we're going to discuss on live stream consequences of doing actions and no actions. Stuck between a hard place. Rock and a hard place. That's what we're stuck between. That's what we're going to discuss tonight. So anyway, I tell you what, with people having to suffer, what I'm trying to get out is this truckers deal in Florida, and then the illegal immigration and people that are suffering from that. Americans that are suffering because of our government's policies is starting to get out of control. Okay. I mean, so far I haven't had to deal with stuff like that, but more Americans are. I mean, look at what the illegals did to some of the women, younger women in today's, even a 12-year-old, right? And now we got them trying to make U-turns illegally on the interstate. I mean, because they missed their exit because they can't read the signs, and they can't read the signs that they're not allowed to make a U-turn there, and they just turn into somebody. Okay, crazy times. But I heard this guy was India, right? And India's got 1% of the cars and 10% of the traffic deaths in the world. Well, I don't think they should be driving 80,000-pound trucks on our roads. But yeah, people that have to deal with suffrage, losing loved ones because of our government's policies. And I'm not even going to get into 2020 and 2021. Hey, Philip, how are you doing tonight? I appreciate you being here. Yep, tonight we're going to have a good discussion about damned if you do and damned if you don't. Maybe that's what I should have named it instead of what I named it. But I see we're getting a few people in here. So let's get down with the subject, okay? And what are the consequences for no actions? Of course, I'm talking about taking our country back. Now, obviously, when the revolution, people were bucking the king and stuff, there were consequences for the people that were doing that, like the Boston Massacre, where, what was it, 6 people got killed? Okay, but what do? Like somebody like me, I'm a Marine, I'm taught to react and definitely act to situations. But this is the thing, people, we have to do something because we're going to have consequences. Our children and our grandchildren will have consequences for us if we don't do anything. I mean, everybody that's my age can see how much the country has slipped in the last 50-some years. I mean, how much you think it's going to slip in the next 25 years? It's just going to get worse and worse. The long train of abuses is just going to continue and get worse until they reach their objective, which is totally enslave every American, no matter what your political affiliation is. That's just the way it is. Philip, I enjoy your content, bro. I'm all in. Yeah, I appreciate it. I can't. A Marine's got to act. A Marine I can sit there and see what's going on. And I know, hey, Strictly Cycling, how's it going? And I know there could be consequences for acting, for being the tip of the spear, for trying to call the unregulated militia. I mean, unregulated, calling up the regulated militia, us vets and stuff. I mean, I had a comment on one of my videos last night, all caps, telling the FBI they need to arrest me. For what? What do I do illegally? I'm allowed to call up the well-regulated militia since I am part of it. Patriots and vets. Okay, nothing against the Patriots, but us vets have you know, a leg up in the situation. But how is that illegal? I mean, I'm supposed to be thrown in jail, in prison, and probably never seen again because of what I say on YouTube, on the social media. I'm just protesting, people. I'm just protesting. Good way to protest without burning up streets and stuff, right? Without going January 6th and being ID'd by the AI and all of a sudden you have FBI at your door. But, you know, what am I doing wrong? I ain't doing shit wrong. I understand the Declaration of Independence. I understand the Second Amendment. Founding fathers did exactly why they did it. Okay? And they gave the people the tools to make sure that they're not taken over by a tyrant. Handed down to us by our founding fathers. And whether we choose to use that miracle or not, I don't know what to tell you. But see, there's going to be consequences for people that are tip of the spear. No shit. There's already been consequences for people. Shit policies, and they get killed on the interstate because somebody don't know. That's just still crazy. And like I say, the children, women that have been lost, and the young kids, and the 12-year-old to these fiendish people. But the thing is, these people are fiendish and terrible people, but not even close to as evil as the people that are on the list that don't exist. Okay? This is because we won't act. But see, I'm out here on social media. I'm expressing my opinion. I'm in the town square yelling at the top of my lungs that the government's screwed up and they're trying to enslave us all. They're just stealing our money left and right, finding new ways to tax us. You don't know what's going to happen once. I can see this happening. Let's say you have the potential $100,000 a year, and you decide to take a job where you're going to be happier, and a happier person spends less money. But you decide to screw the greenbacks. You're going to take a job that's going to make you happier, and you can still make a living for $50,000 a year. Okay, so you decide to take a lower paying job. How much you want to bet that one day they come up with a tax system where you get taxed on what they think your potential is instead of what you're actually making? You just watch. These people are insane. But like I say, as long as we keep going down this road, and the only way they're going to stop is if we stand up. Okay? And the first people that stand up are the ones that are in the most danger. I realize that. I'm a Marine. Being in danger, oh well, to save my country, my Constitution, and so my kids and my grandkids and my unborn great-grandchildren and so on can live a free life. I'm all in, buddy. Stand up, fuck up. FAF, find out. That's right. Okay. The thing is, we need to do something, people. You need to start communicating with like-minded people. You need to start forming your little fire teams and your squads, and you need to practice and do it all according, especially if you're in the military. And you know a bunch of military guys, jeepers cripes, start getting together, okay? Let's start forming this well-regulated militia. I'm calling on that. He wants to sit there and put these troops in the streets. I still can't believe people are applauding that. If Biden would have put troops in the streets in D.C. and threatened to put them in other cities and stuff, do you think MAGA would be clapping their hands? And like I say, we need troops in the street now to fight our crime. And I never did hear an end date when they're going to leave. Did anybody hear that? Anyway, hey, I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers tonight. I don't think I'm going to do it because YouTube's definitely cut down this live stream. I'm used to having thousands of people on, but whatever. If you could help out the channel and hit the thumbs up and subscribe and the bell notification, I appreciate it. Because, YouTube's fighting me left and right. All social media platforms are. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter which one you go to. They're all bowing to the same person, whoever that may be. Every single last one. You want to talk about Israel or Palestine? It's like everybody's a bunch of buddies now, and they're all protecting each other. Mark Zuckerberg gave Donald Trump $1 million for his inaugural party. Really? After you sit there and didn't want him as president and spent millions on making sure he would be president? Leanne, I'm not good with names, people. I need to get a different paragraph. Tom, the algorithm is a crapshoot and hits or miss. Just keep cranking out your content. Of course I am. I'm a Marine, strictly cycling. I do not freaking give up. How strong am I? I'm as strong as the force I need to go through that next stop sign that's been put in front of me. Okay, I got a mission to spread the truth on YouTube. I don't break community guidelines, but I also can see I got behind the scenes data from YouTube, okay? Because when you start a channel up, it's like a business, people. And starts getting the views and stuff like mine, it's like a business, people. And, I can see the bullshit they're pulling, but I don't give up. I don't freaking give up. I'm the Terminator, dude. You know what? You don't want to be between the Marine and his mission. It's not a good zone to be in. Lead me, follow me, or get the fuck out of my way. Either way, I'm coming through. Do you think these beta males scare me? Eventually, they will be imprisoned. They ain't going to get financially sued or fined. They're going to go to prison for infringing on our constitutional rights and basically part of the conspiracy to take over the United States of America, which would be treason. So Jeff Bezos and Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk, who's ever on that list, remember, it's treason to sit there and conspire with the government to take it away from us people. Treason. And what's the penalty for treason? Well, it's not going home to a nice federal prison. Okay? No. It's called out of the courtroom in front of a high velocity of exchange of ideas. Strictly Cycling Google's in here again. See, that's another thing. Google's in my stuff. They restrict. They keep restricting your messages. Strictly Cycling. Do you put messages on other YouTube channels that Google just doesn't seem to like you? Boy, if you started a channel up, it'd take you forever. Well, they hate you more than they hate me. Trump is nothing but a big empty barrel that makes a lot of noise. He's a puppet. He's an absolute puppet now. The person who's got the list, we won't go into who's got the list and when they took it back. But it's obvious, okay? He definitely isn't the man that was running for the presidency now, is he? Because I still haven't seen anything he's done. They have these, it's all bread and circus. Alligator Alcatraz, bread and circus for MAGA. And they're swallowing it, hook, line, and sinker. That's all it is bread and circus. But we're going to keep the agricultural, the work where they don't think no Americans will do. We're going to give them people amnesty. Only a weak man looks like at Trump and sees a strong man. Anyway, he's a paper tiger, like all presidents are. This is the thing. They're all beta males, people. They all got tough guys with guns behind them, but they're beta males. You know, a lot of them, if they had money when they were born into money, well, they'd have a lot different life now, wouldn't they? So anyway, consequences of actions. Let's get back to that. Yeah, there's going to be consequences for action. Could I have the FBI at my door? Exactly. But they would just be proving what I'm saying is right. That's all they're doing. And that's what I would inform them of. You're part of a tyrannical government, sir. This is what I'm supposed to do. It's my duty to throw you off. Just like I guess it's their duty to be unconstitutional and obey unconstitutional orders to harass American citizens who want to, this is our job, people. We got social media now. If our founding fathers would have knew about social media, they would have probably written the Constitution. When stuff gets stupid, everybody's forced to have a channel and voice their opinion. Like I say, this is not time to be silent. What would YouTube do if they had 200 million channels start up in a week that were all given the same message? Not of the mega Republicans or the liberal Democrats, but us and the 50% in the middle have had enough. God, I would love to see that. I would love to see that. Maybe we could get change without having to bring out the boomsticks. I don't know. Can we do this peacefully? But all I know is we got to take action. And the more people that come together and we act together as a group, the stronger we'll be, and the more they're going to have to assess their situation. King John was handed the Magna Carta at the end of a sword. And legally, we can do this. This is the thing, people. Legally, the citizens have the right to do this. We don't want to do that. We want to go out about our lives, right? Everybody wants to sit there and just live their lives like we used to, like our parents did 40 years ago. Like downtown, small town used to be in the 1980s on a summer night. But we can't have that no more because everybody's got to hate each other. So, we got a lot to fix. And like I say, if we don't do something, our inaction is going to be worse. What would you rather have? You to bite the bullet, or your kids or your grandkids or your unborn generations to have to bite the bullet so you can maybe squeak off the planet and still live a comfortable life? Is that what kind of person you are? Where it's coming, but you sit there as long as I can squeak by, I'm good to go. I don't care about what happens to the earth after I leave or my family. See, this is the thing. We're stuck between a rock and a hard place. We have to act. And there's going to be consequences for that. People are going to die. They wouldn't have to die if the assholes in charge would just stop doing their retarded shit. But that ain't ever going to happen now, is it? That ain't ever going to happen. The tyrant does not give up until they're forced to stop. That's when they stop. And, we got a duty to do. What other country, when their constitution or how the documents of their country was created, did their founding fathers tell them, order them, give them the duty and charge them to throw off the government if it starts interfering with your freedom too much? Which other one does that? Which other country has a Second Amendment? We got it made, people. We'll do nothing about it because what, we're rocked to sleep with entitlements, and everybody needs to get off the government titty. If you're on Social Security, you need to figure out how to get off of there. Like I say, it's just like, you live your whole life, never was on social services at all. Never went to the welfare office at all. And the second you're 65 and retire, all of a sudden you're treated like you're on welfare. Who likes that? And then you're off probably working anyway. Anyway, and then, like I say, our inactions of not dealing with this, it's just going to get worse and worse and worse until people have nothing left to lose. They're going to lose it. They only get worse. Hi, Tom. Hey, J99. How's it going? I tell you what, I'm so close to 1,000 subscribers, and YouTube's really clamping down hard. Really? The thing is, I got over 500,000 views, right? But they've probably taken 150,000 views from me. They've probably taken at least a couple thousand subscribers from me. Why? When all this truth comes out, like I say, when we settle this, all the guilty are going to pay. Even the rich bastards are going to pay. Okay? We will bring justice to this country. We will make it so future generations will know the damage that was done to this country over the last 100 years. Ever since, well over 100 years, ever since Woodrow Wilson and his crazy ass wife. Hey, Paul, how's it going today? Trump is saving America. Yeah. Everybody would agree that this country's got a lot of problems, right? Everybody would agree to that, right? And everybody's waiting for the savior Trump to fix it. Are you sitting there doing nothing? See, Trump is one man. You gotta start doing your part too, making sure your house is in order, and then making sure your community's in order, and then making sure your city's in order. Okay? And kind of meet Trump in the middle. But the thing is, if he don't release the list, Paul, I don't care if he walks on water. Because he's letting extremely sick, twisted, demented individuals who are emboldened now to continue on with their sick shit. And he knows about it. Now, if you knew about that and you knew who was on the list, would you keep your mouth shut? Would you? Could you look at a child walking down the street and maybe, God, they might get taken? Could you sit there and do that? Would your conscience allow that to happen? Are you that rotten of a person? He can do 1,000 things right. That's the crime of the millennial that's being kept secret. So I'm sorry, I don't agree with it. And if you save in America, you're sure spending a lot of money to do it, huh? Politicians are all politicians. I remember Trump back in the 80s when I was growing up and stuff. I thought he was an egotistical asshole. I mean, I voted for him. But I also feel like I got kicked and got lied to. And I got told that, what did he tell me? I was stupid and whiny and deceived by the Democrats. And he don't need me no more. Okay? He don't need me no more. And anybody who thinks there isn't a client list, well, that means there's no victim list then either, is there? Oh, that's right. There are victims. See, whatever. And like I say, just explain with Epstein how, like I say, Paul, if you had billions of dollars in cash at your residencies, each of your residencies, Don't you think the IRS might have a few questions for you? I mean, they're hiding a lot of things. I mean, didn't Al Capone go to prison? They finally got him for tax evasion. Anyway, see, you're not going to sell me. Trump's just a man, and you know what? Trying to distract everybody, but he could walk on water. Doesn't matter no more. He's bought and sold. I can see the strings hooked to him. He's the puppet. Netanyahu is the puppet master, and I can see the strings. If you can't see the strings, I don't know what to tell you. Okay. Anyway, Trump has never hurt any children. Okay, really? I got a question. Why did Trump have underage beauticians working at his beauty salon? And then he said Epstein took them from him? That's just kind of strange to me. Most women, if they go to a salon, most women, especially high maintenance women, aren't going to want their hair done by a teenager. Am I lying? He's the one who brought that up, not me. But it doesn't matter, right? Because we're never going to hear the truth. When is a politician lying? When they're talking. He's a politician now, so he falls into that group. Anyway, but we got our, like I say, if we don't act, the consequences for acting for the people that are the tip of the spear is definitely more dangerous. Okay, the tip of the spear in the Revolutionary War was the founding fathers, and people say, well, they're all for trying to set up a country for the rich people and stuff. Like I say, if they would have lost the war, like it definitely looked like they were going to at first, they'd have been a world of hurt. You think the guy in the log cabin trying to make a life out in the woods was going to hurt much? Who sat there and fired a few rounds at the British? No. But the people who signed the Declaration of Independence and John Hancock and stuff, George Washington, oh yeah, they weren't going to have a very good life after that. Anyway, message to Strictly Cycling. Am I upsetting a few people? Good. If I upset a few people, I don't know what to tell you, man. Nobody ever cared about my feelings. If you can't handle hearing the truth, then this ain't the channel to come to. Because that's all I had to listen to when I was growing up. That's what I've dealt with in my adult world. That's what, lies don't fix problems and lies don't better your life. So anyway, boy, I tell you what, you guys are just erasing messages like crazy. Anyway, hey, I'm going to get off of here. I think if I go live again tomorrow, you notice I've been putting out videos during the day now and stuff, but I may sit there, if YouTube's going to sit there and play this little game with me before I hit 1,000 subscribers. I mean, like I say, they say I get messages, I have well over 2,000 viewed hours, but I don't even have nothing close to that when it comes. They're just, one page doesn't match the other page. But if the algorithm's got to settle down a little bit, and and stop smoking, I may have to take a couple days off with no content. We'll see. I'll see tomorrow, but it's crazy. Sometimes you got to give them a little breather, okay? Just gives me a couple days to come back with some different tactics that they used to. I tell you what, dealing with YouTube is it's like attacking a position. It really is. And you can't do it the same way twice. That's the thing with dealing with AI. AI can't come up with anything. What I mean by that, I can throw something new at it and it kind of throws it off at first until it gets used to it. And then it can adjust to it. But, that's what I kind of do. I fling it a Hail Mary every once in a while. I don't know quite how to deal with it. So anyway, but they're really slamming down on my live stream tonight. I got a lawn I want to sit there and take care of it, plant a little grass, and the sun went down and it's not beating down hard as hell tonight. But anyway, I'm not going to give up. I just don't give up because I like to say, the consequences for my inactions is far worse than my consequences for my actions. I mean, my consequences for my actions, I could lose my life for being a patriot, for trying to stand up for the Constitution of my fellow Americans. I could lose my life. But as a Marine, I accepted that when I went overseas. Okay, it's just now the enemy isn't overseas, the enemy's in Washington, D.C. Okay. But if my inactions would mean that the lives of my children and my grandchildren and of my unborn generations would be far worse than what I ever had to put up with. I mean, that's just not something I'm willing to accept. That's not something what this man is going to sit there and allow to happen without a fight. Like I say, we got all the documentation in our favor, people. The government's supposed to have it's supposed to be handcuffed, not us. But right now, too many people fear the government and are reliant on the government. And the problem with people like me, see, I'm a Sigma male. Alpha males and Sigma males don't fear beta males, no matter what position of authority you're in. It's a nature thing. You're a freaking wimp, bitch. Anyway, that's all I got for this evening. I'll be back again tomorrow night with another live stream, and then I may take a long weekend. We'll all see what happens here. But, you know, what do you do? Like I say, all these big social media execs will be called on the carpet, will be charged. And if they conspired with the government to overthrow the power of the people, then that's treason. And they got lawyers. They can figure out what the punishment is for that. But like I say, if we don't make, like after World War II with the Nazis, and they should have done the same with the Japanese. They did a little bit with the Japanese, but not like the Nazis. And make a statement. And then teach it throughout history for hundreds of years at least. Anyway, I'm just glad I got the education I got. Okay. Told I was wrong. I had to correct myself, had to research, had to come up with the right answers, not just the answer that. I've actually heard a commercial once that said, if you screw it up, you made it better. I mean, is that what they tell kids these days? Crazy world we live in, everybody. Twilight Zone. Anyway, everybody have a great evening. This is Tom with Hidden Truths. I am out of here.